The Life of Muhammad, SAW. Part 3. The Turning of Destiny. Chapter 19. The Awakening of Arabia. By the time Mecca surrendered without a battle, Arabia was no longer the broken land Muhammad had grown up in. The desert tribes who once prided themselves on endless revenge now walked under a new banner: justice over blood, mercy over pride, unity over tribalism. But unity doesn't erase centuries of habit in a single night. The Prophet knew this. He understood that the human heart changes slowly, like the shifting dunes, grain by grain. His mission was not merely to conquer land, but to reshape character. So even after Mecca's conquest, he continued working quietly, steadily, with patience unmatched in history. Chapter 20. The Cleaning of the Heartland. As dawn broke over the holy city, the Kaaba stood silent, its walls still scarred by the smoke of incense burned before idols. Generations had placed their faith in carved stone. Now those stones lay shattered on the ground. The Prophet circled the Kaaba with a calm never seen in a leader who had won a city. No shouting, no gloating, no revenge. Only a prayer on his lips and gratitude in his heart. When he finished, he turned to the people of Mecca, those same people who had insulted him, beaten his followers, starved them, nearly killed him. He told them simply, "Go, you are free." Those words cracked open hearts harder than stone. The conqueror forgave. The enemy became brothers. The humbled found dignity. The terrified found safety. This act changed the course of Arabia. Chapter 21. The Ripple Across the Desert. News of Mecca's peaceful surrender spread across the peninsula like wind across the dunes. Tribes that once mocked Islam began to send delegations: the proud warriors of Najd, the strategic tribes of Yemen, the Bedouins of the eastern sands, the leaders of Oman and Bahrain, and the seasoned negotiators of Taif. Many expected resistance. Instead, they found a man who debated without arrogance, listened without judgment, and welcomed without condition. The Prophet did not demand conversion. He invited. He explained. He demonstrated. The people embraced the message not because they were forced, but because the truth now stood before them in living form. Chapter 22. The Year of Delegations. This period became known as al-Wufud, the Year of Delegations. Every week, sometimes daily, new groups arrived in Medina. Camels crowded the city gates. Tents sprang up around the mosque. Foreign dialects filled the air. Some delegations came out of curiosity. Some came seeking guidance. Some came seeking alliances, and some came with pride, ready to challenge. The Prophet treated them all with the same dignity. He taught them not only religion, but diplomacy, ethics, leadership, and community building. The desert became a classroom. Medina became the heart of a new world. Chapter 23. The Battle of Hunain. But even in the year of peace, danger loomed. The Hawazin and Thaqif tribes, fierce warriors of the valley, felt threatened by Islam's rise. They gathered a massive army, believing the Muslims would now grow complacent. The battle took place in the valley of Hunain. For the first time, the Muslims were numerous, 12,000 strong. And for the first time, some felt pride in their numbers. The lesson came quickly. An ambush struck. Chaos erupted. Dust swallowed the horizon. Some Muslims fled.
but the prophet stood firm on the battlefield. On his mule, exposed to the enemy, he raised his voice. "I am the prophet, this is no lie. I am the son of Abdul Muttalib." His courage pulled the army back. The Muslims regrouped. The tide turned. Victory came. And the lesson was clear. Numbers don't bring victory. Discipline and sincerity do. Chapter 24. The City of Taif. After Hunain, the Muslims turned to Taif, a fortress city carved into the mountains. The siege lasted weeks. Arrows rained from the walls. The people resisted fiercely. The companions wanted to break the city by force. The prophet refused. When Taif finally surrendered on its own terms, not a single house was burned, not a single citizen was humiliated. Years later, the people of Taif would become some of Islam's most devoted followers. Patience is stronger than swords. Chapter 25. The Last Campaigns. As Islam grew, the prophet confronted threats beyond Arabia. The Roman Empire's shadow stretched across Syria. Their generals feared the rise of a united Arabia. Skirmishes erupted along the border. The prophet led an expedition to Tabuk, a march through blistering heat and hunger, across 700 kilometers of desert. But when the Muslims arrived, the Roman forces retreated. There was no battle. The prophet gained the allegiance of northern tribes without lifting a sword. It showed the world that the Muslims were no longer a persecuted minority. They were now a recognized force. Even after all this success, alliances, victories, peace treaties, the prophet's lifestyle remained exactly as it had always been. He slept on a mat that left marks on his back. He mended his own shoes. He mended his own clothes. He lived in a small clay house beside the mosque. He ate simple food, sometimes only dates and water. Foreign dignitaries often looked for a throne. They found a man sitting on the floor. They expected gold and armor. They found humility. This image of a leader who controlled an entire continent, yet lived like the poorest of his people, shocked the world. It still shocks the world today. Chapter 27. The Farewell Pilgrimage. In the 10th year after the Hijra, Muhammad announced a pilgrimage that would become his last. More than 100,000 Muslims gathered. The valley of Arafat overflowed with believers. The desert trembled with the echo of their prayers. On that day, the prophet delivered a sermon that summarized his entire mission. No racism, no exploitation, no injustice, no oppression of women. No tribal superiority, no theft or bloodshed, no corruption, no pride. Then he asked, "Have I delivered the message?" The people shouted, "Yes, you have delivered it completely." He raised his finger, "O Allah, bear witness." Chapter 28. The Beginning of the End. Not long after returning to Medina, he fell ill. The world held its breath. Aisha cared for him day and night. He still smiled. He still prayed. He still guided his companions, even in weakness. His final moments were gentle. His head rested in Aisha's lap. He looked toward the heavens. His last words were, "The highest companion." The sun set on the most influential life in human history, and the world would never again be what it was.